So hello everybody. Welcome to the second Russian dog training online conference in English. I'm happy that you have come today to listen to our speakers. First, let me introduce myself. It's for somebody who is going to watch the recording. My name is Leila Laftan. I'm the founder and the facilitator of the Dog Me English Speaking Club. I am a TESOL certified language trainer. I got diplomas in marketing and business translations. And I have completed teaching workshops, webinars, and conferences for teachers of the language. So you can find me on Instagram, Telegram. You can see my contacts here. And I have created a group for expats. And sometimes I invite them to join to my exchange language program for dog trainers. So this is the agenda for today. Look how amazing the talks are. I'm really happy to introduce you these brave ladies and dog trainers and cat specialists as well. So today we are having 5 reports. And the first one is going to be Sasha Pasak. She's going to tell us about fear in dogs. The second one is Tatyana Misurkeeva, and she will tell us about lulling a dog to avoid behavioral problems. The third one is going to be Svetlana Gavrilova, and she will tell us about unmet needs and stress and the connection between them. Natalia Lubyanetskaya is going to tell us about Stressless flight, and Ksenya Sergeeva also will tell us about reaching Africa and traveling to Africa with dogs. So really interesting talks today. Welcome who is coming, who is joining. Tatyana also. Okay. And so what I would like to ask you to do, this is very important for us. It is really difficult sometimes and challenging to give a talk in English language. So please support our speakers with your reactions, with your body language, with your smiles. If you can, please, thank you, Yulia. If you can, turn on your cameras just to say hello. And if you can't, we can understand, no problem. So can you please show us some reaction right now? Everybody can do it. So I can see that you can use the reactions on Zoom. Thank you, Ilya, Ksenia, Yulia, Sasha. So everybody who can use. If you hear something amazing that you like, please just share your emotion with us. It's going to be very exciting. Okay, and the last thing that I'd like to ask you, if you have heard some interesting idea or you've got a question, please feed us back. Yeah, you can ask questions after each talk, or we can have a short round of discussions maybe at the end of the conference. So don't forget that we have a chat box where you can send your questions or anything. So the first, I would like to ask you to tell us where are you from in the chat box. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Oh, Belgrade. Yeah, great. Israel. Ухта. Sofia. It is Sofia. Sofia, right? Chita, Belgrade. St. Petersburg. Great. So I am from Moscow almost, but not really, not far from Moscow, from Noginsk. Okay. So shall we start? I guess that I can, Sasha Pasak can start. So you can share your screen, your presentation. Don't forget to unmute yourself. Say hello to everybody.
Hello. Hello, Leila. Thank you for your introduction. I'm really glad to be here today. Hello, everyone. My name is Sasha Pasak. And for 7 years now, I'm sharing my life with a fearful dog. And for 7 years, I'm receiving bad advice on how to help him. So my canine companion Jeeves was fearful from the beginning, and I was trying a lot of different methods to change it, and unfortunately made a lot of mistakes. But I was trying to find something that would support Jeeves, and finally came across T-Touch. Then I enrolled in a certification course and decided to swap my professional life to study and work with dogs and their people. And today, I would like to share my experience and expertise about fear in dogs, and for you to avoid my mistakes. I'll divide my speech into 4 parts. I will talk what is fear and how dogs display it. Then we will discuss some bad advice, and afterwards, I will recommend what to do instead. So, what is fear? Fear is help humans and non-human animals to survive. So, fear, thanks to fear, we can recognize danger and take action. By actions, I mean to run away or to fight for ourselves. And the main thing I should say that threat could be real or anticipated. It doesn't matter. Otherwise, all the ways fear will be real. So how does fear work? I don't want us to sink into the depth of the neurophysiology, but I would clear some points, few points actually. First one, fear starts in the brain, because brain is receiving signals from the outside and then recognize fear. So if at the time that brain recognizes fears, it sends signals to the body, and then hormones of stress are releasing, then heart rate and body pressure increases, and muscles are tense. So these all reactions help us to survive, so to run away or to fight. And the third one is memory consolidation. Rush of hormones leads to memory consolidations, and it means that brain saves all the details of the event, the sights, the sounds, the smells, all of them, even the weather, and these details could trigger fear later again. All of these leads us to this thought: fear works without conscious. So this is autonomic reaction, and dog doesn't control it. And all the dog behavior when a dog is fearful are unconscious. Now, I would like you to choose which one of these dogs is scared. Please drop numbers to the chat, and I will see them and read. Leila says the third one. Great. 4, 5, and 3rd. Yeah, cool. Maybe someone else. 1, 2, 3, 6. Yes, 2, 6. Yeah, great. Thank you for your answers. And now I will give you my answer. I suppose that all of them could be scared because, of course, we have not seen all the whole picture, but we are seeing some sides. So I assume that everybody here knows that dogs shows their reactions and their emotions and also communicate with the body language. And I've collected more than 40 signs of fear in dogs. Not to you to remember it or to write it down, not just even to read, but I just want to highlight that, highlight the importance of understanding body language in dogs. And I want you to understand that the sooner you recognize dog's fear, the confident your dog will be. Observation, the science of observation, and I should say maybe just not science, but art of observation is a huge topic, but I will give you some tips of observing your dog behavior through body. So every dog is an individual. So if you want to help your dog, you should know how she expresses her feelings. It would be better if you scan your dog's body from head to tail, because you can get the whole picture. Please note the ears, mouth, and tail, because they show the first signs of anxiety and stress. And last but not least, growling, barking, and biting are not bad behavior. They are loud ways to communicate discomfort that dog use. And before we move on to the advice, I want to recap 2 key points. First one, dogs' behavior responses to fear are unconscious. The second one, if we ignore quiet signs, the dog has to shift her behavior to louder ones. And now I have a next question for you. It may be a little bit difficult, but I hope you will help me. What bad advice did you receive for your frightened dog? Maybe not for your dog, maybe for another dog. I need some bad advice. Please drop to the chat, just type, and I will read them. And then I share my experience. Force the dog to bear the situation. Feed dog only outside. Give some food. Be brave, yeah. To get frightened dog to the center of the city, yeah. Yeah, great. Don't worry, be happy. Yes, this is a cool one. Yeah, thank you so much. Great answers. So I'll show you my top of bad advice. So someone could say, A dog will get used to scary thing. You just need to force her to stay. This is the bad advice. And in a professional language, this technique is called flooding, when you force your dog to stay in the situation that cause panic in dog. But it could only lead us to make dog more aggressive or to another reaction that is called shutting down. So we can see calm dog, but it's not calm, it's panicking and shutting down. Another one, never comfort a scary dog. You will encourage fear. This is the bad advice too, because as we saw earlier, the fear is an emotion, so you can encourage it because it works autonomic and without conscious. And the third one, if your dog bares teeth or growls or barking, you should punish her because it's bad. And so we just discussed that it is a bad advice, because if you will punish your dog, besides, I think it's cruel, because to punish barking dog is like to punish crying kid, but also if you do that, you just make your dog to be a dog that could bite from nowhere, just sudden bite, but it's your job. And now we will go to another part of advice. And first I will show you these comics, and I will read it to you. So this is the dentist robbery, and the robber says, hands up, it's a robbery. But for you not to be scared, I'll give you this teddy bear and wear this funny mask. Does it help? And dentist answer, of course not. How could it help? I have the same question for you. So me also have the same question. How does it could help? But unfortunately, I should confess, these were a group of advice that I use with my dog, and they make things first. So it's my experience. These bad advice are: act like you're having fun. Give food to a dog, she will love scary things. And third one, redirect the dog to a toy, it will distract her. And I have an answer to all these three advice. And this is, if someone feels scared, he needs safety, not a toy, not a food, not a fun. Okay, it's time for recommendations, and I'll give you briefly because I think I'm running out of time. So please start with a vet exam, because pain usually connects to a fear and cause fear in dogs. Then avoid things that make dog feel panic. Don't drag your dog to the fireworks. Don't drag your dog to the it's not good, it's cruel. Third one, make them feel safe. It is actually a big topic how to do it. There are a lot of ways, but this is the main idea. Your dog needs to feel safe, and only you can provide safety to her. Next one and another next one are connected actually, and now I will show you some video. It has a like messy sound, but please don't pay attention to the sound. Just read the letters.
Both of them on your left, and then together straight ahead, you two. And together straight ahead.
So Pedro Pascal explains where anxiety is located. So I would advise you, and I use this advice also, emotions live in the body, and if you can locate them, you can release tension. So when your dog is frightened, and when you see your dog frightened, you can help yourself and you can help your dog by touch. It could be T-touch, it could be another gentle touch or massage or something like this. But if you pay attention to your body, you will recover easier, and your dog also. And then the last advice, last recommendation, after all of these have done, you can go to training, and it would be desensitization, sorry. And I will recommend to do it with a professional help, because it's not that easy that it sounds. And the last one, 3 takeaways from me. Learn how to recognize fear, believe in dog's fear and respect it, and keep your dog safe. That's it. Thank you for your attention and for your answers. This is the ways you can connect with me, by Telegram or by Instagram. And I would love to get your answers or your questions, and maybe some comments.
Sasha, thank you very much. So we've got some time for asking questions. Just take your time, maybe a minute. If you have any questions to Sasha, or you would like to react somehow to feed her back, you are welcome. So, Sasha, maybe you will read, some comments.
Yeah, believe in dog's fear. That's great. I mean, really great and deep advice. Yeah, thank you. So it's just like from my experience, you should believe in it. You should not get off and say to dog, don't be afraid, it's nothing.
Yeah, not to neglect the dog.
Not neglect,
yeah, it's important.
Thank you, Yulia. Yulia tell me, thank you, Sasha, such a great example with rubber. Yes, I agree. And when I found it, I was just like, this is the great way to explain.
Yeah, and you should share your secret that you have translated from Russian.
Yes.
This meme. So it's Sasha is the author of this meme, we can say.
Not the author, but translator. Tanya asks, may flooding work for some dogs? For example, if dog is only a bit scared, or is it a risk anyway? Traditional dog trainer use it so often. Yes, it's it's a great question, because actually we cannot know for sure would it help or not, but I would not recommend it to do with any dog, actually, because the risk to make things worse is so big, so great. So I would not just make some experiment with a dog and make flooding this. Flooding, it's not. So I will not do it. Thanks a lot. It was interesting. Thank you. Can I do the touch by myself, or for the first time it's better to talk to expert? I would, as an expert, as a T-touch practitioner, I will answer that. Of course, you should talk to an expert, but not only because of this, but also because there are a lot of details in T-touch. and you should know how to react and how to see dog reaction, dog feedback, and to use it carefully. So I would say that it would be easier to use some expertise and then do it yourself. Thank you for your thanking me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we don't have any questions. So we can move on. And the next speaker has an amazing talk about sleep in dogs and an amazing title of her presentation. She's going to present herself. So Tatyana, please go ahead.
Can you see my screen? Great. So hi everyone. I'm glad to participate in the conference and see you all here. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Tatyana Misurkeeva. I'm originally from a small town in Russia, but now I'm based in Israel. I grew up surrounded by dogs. Back then, I didn't know that my future would be connected with them, but I have always been animal crazy. Recently, I swapped my photographer job to study canine behavior and enrolled in a course of dog trainers in Tel Aviv. And now I'm offering an in-home pet boarding and individual consultations offline in Israel and online all over the world. But as many dog trainers do, I still continue to strengthen my knowledge by learning in Nordic Education Center for Dog Trainers and in Modern Cynology University created by Lubyanetskaya. My talk is about the connection between dog sleep and dog's behavior. I've chosen this topic because sleep plays a vital role in dog's life. The presentation consists of 3 parts. Firstly, I'll give you a short introduction into the scientific view to what happens in the brain while sleeping. Secondly, we'll talk about what triggers affect sleep. And thirdly, I'll give you some tips how to organize dogs sleeping. So, sleep is a basic need of a dog as any living creature. It's quite easy to understand the importance of good sleep because we people need it as well. I think every person has experienced a short sleep duration. So the rhetorical question, does it help to feel better, to work and study more efficiently, control emotions? Of course, it doesn't. Imagine a dog that couldn't sleep well today or even for a while. He's bad-tempered, impatient, he might bark at people in the street, communicate with other dogs not nicely, etc., etc., etc. Emotions and sensitivity get the upper hand. Why so? Let's find out what's going on during good sleep. Brain helps the body, the nervous system to recover. This is the reason, by the way, why sickness or strong tiredness may make sleep longer. And the integration of new experience happens. Information goes from short-term memory to long-term memory. And it's important to remember that while sleeping, brain provides stress level reduction and immune boosting. Where does this lead us? The dog that cannot sleep enough or well, whose quality of sleeping is poor, misses the recovery of organism and cannot process new experiences, for example, new comments. So how do dogs normally sleep? Some interesting and important facts. The average sleep duration of a healthy adult dogs is about from 12 to 16 hours. For puppies, it's about 20 hours, mostly because they get tons of new information and need time to digest it. Dogs need to sleep more than once a day, both day and night. Their sleep is divided in small sessions, about 16 minutes. During the break between those sessions, dog may change the position, the place, and fall asleep. It's important to remember that dog change their places and positions. What else we need to know is that there are two phases of sleeping: non-rapid eye movement and rapid eye movement. Non-rapid eye movement is the longest part of sleeping when organism rests. And rapid eye movement phase is characterized by movement, pause, muscles, even whimpering, less responding to the surroundings. We should not wake dog here because integration of new experience happens. It's important to remember this phase is necessary. Here I'd like to show you the video how it looks. You can see how paws, ears, cheeks, eye are moving. This is the rapid eye movement phase. There are different environmental triggers that may affect good sleep. For instance, movement around high or low temperatures, noise pollution, pain, of course. All these factors have negative impact, reducing rapid eye movement phase and the total time spent sleeping. For example, there is research where scientific workers compared 3 kinds of sleeping at night in different places: indoors, in the house, outdoors in the yard, and outdoors in a non-fenced area. The results show that the difference between indoor and outdoor sleep is about 20%, which is quite a lot. These findings prove that active sleep, rapid eye movement phase, happens in safe conditions mainly. Here is the picture about sleeping. Yeah, that shows it very correctly. So these environmental conditions can disturb sleep either by directly affecting it or by producing stress responses. The secretion of cortisol is modulated by circadian rhythms, and it has an alternating cycle with melatonin. Here you can see on the slide how it looks. Melatonin is sleep hormone. Stressful events lead to the production of cortisol to levels that will inhibit sleep, causing delays in sleep and increasing waking episodes during sleep cycles. Sleep disruption is considered to be a stressor by itself, and as we know, chronic stress is a main source of behavioral problems, so it's like a vicious cycle. Understanding the relationship between lack of sleep or poor quality of sleep and chronic stress is relevant to solve these behavioral problems. Here, I would like to make a small coffee break and ask you a couple of questions. What do you think? Is it a good place for a dog to sleep better in the crate? You can drop your answers in the chat box. Not really with people, for sure. With people in the crates, yeah, it should be a very big crate. Sometimes you think if crate has no door, I'm not sure. In a big crate called apartments. Apartments and a soft bed. If it's her choice, no, when she's annoying. Leila, what do you mean? If a crate is her home. Yeah, actually, I agree that crate may be a safe place for dog to sleep if door is open, if it's a dog's choice. Because if crate is locked, door is locked, dog cannot change any position, any place. Yeah, even for example, if the place where the crate is too hot, so dog cannot avoid it, and so of course it's not pleasant for a dog to sleep in this place. And the second question, should a dog be allowed to sleep in a bed with people? What's your opinion? If she wants to. Yeah, I think it's a great situation for a dog to sleep with people if she wants to. If everyone is okay with it, absolutely. If for people it's comfortable, if everyone feel comfortable with it. Yeah, actually, not for all people it's comfortable, and it's also an opinion, and it's maybe fine why you have dog if not sleeping together. Yeah, this is the first reason to have a dog, to sleep comfortably together. So yeah, I think no is also an answer, an opinion. And by the way, now I'm going to tell you how we can organize the place for dog to sleep together with people, but not like on people. I mean, how to organize social sleep. So to provide good sleep for our dogs, we need to know what factors affect comfort. The most important thing that I would like to lay emphasis on is a choice of different surfaces, first of all. It might be a soft dog bed, thin mat, a couch, an armchair, floor. Some highnesses are great. So do you remember what I told you about sleep sessions? Between them, dogs quite often prefer to change the surface, the place, not only the position. And an opportunity to choose a social sleep. Even if you wouldn't like to sleep with your dog on a bed with you, you still can organize a sleeping place for your dog near your bed. You can see the example how we may do it on the third picture. To put armchair near your bed for your dog is an option. And sometimes it's very pleasant to lay with your dog on the couch, have hugs, to sleep together, and it is a social sleep, because dogs are social sleepers, and it's literally their need, their natural behavior to sleep with their partner. The second factor is lack of movements around the dog. We cannot put dog's bed in a corridor or in a kid's room, the places where we would disturb dog's peace. Opportunity to relax. The dog's bed should be big enough. The dog may have a relaxed pose on the sides and have an opportunity to stretch his legs, like on the first picture with a green mat. The next factor is that sleeping place shouldn't be too cold or too hot. For example, small dogs with short fur would prefer a warm material, and large fur dogs may love a thin mat. Of course, it also depends on the temperature in the house. And anyway, I would recommend to have a few different dogs' beds, or at least places for dog to sleep. It's also about the choice. Lack of pain. Of course, pain is a stressor by itself, and it disturbs sleep. And last but not least, walks, appropriate amount of triggers, and load in the day help to provide a higher quality of sleeping too. Before finishing my presentation, I would like to sum up the information. Lack of sleep or its poor quality have a great impact on dogs' behavior. First of all, to solve behavioral problems, not maybe first of all, but one of the first thing is that we need to observe dogs' sleep and dogs' health. During good sleep, organism is recovered, stress level is reduced. We need to remember it when we work with behavioral problems. The best way to help a dog to sleep well is to give him a choice where and when to sleep. Here are the ways how you can contact me, and thank you for your attention. Now, feel free to ask me questions. By the way, I don't see Leila here. Maybe something wrong with your internet. How to provide a good sleeping if the family is big and noisy. Anyway, if family is big, but usually a family has a big apartment or at least few rooms. So just give a dog to the opportunity to leave the room where the most noise is, and even if there is only one room in apartments, I think for a dog it will be fine to have an opportunity to sleep in other room, even if it's a I forgot how we call this room, like in the toilet. I mean, just to have one room where dog can live, to sleep, to rest, not to be together where with the family, if he wants to. What to do if dog is not sleeping well? First of all, we need to understand what is the reason. Maybe it's some healthy problems. Maybe it's about the place. Dog does not have a place for sleep. I would like to give you a tip which were not in my presentation. How can we organize social sleep? I think it's really social sleeping influence really good on contact between people, between owner and the dog, and we may do it for dog to sleep better and to make the contact itself. So how to do it? We should choose some time to have peace, to take rest. Like turn on classic music, not too loud. Close the window from to make I forgot how to say tishina. Okay, it doesn't matter. Give your dog a chewy treat lay together on the couch, and give him a chance to relax with you and to sleep with you for an hour maybe, and you may sleep with the dog too, and it really it influence on the dog's sleep really well. Do you recommend 2 or more dogs sleep together? Can you please text what you mean? Sleep together in a room, like, yeah, they may, of course, they may choose this option. For example, now I have 2 dogs and they always sleep together. They may sleep together with hugging together, or just in one room. It's also a social sleeping when dogs sleep with their social partners, and dogs between each other, between together, they are social partners too. So yeah. My dog is 5 years old. She's very calm and haven't any stressors, but she sleeps about 20 hours. Is it normal? For adult dog, it's a bit too much. So maybe you do not see some stressors. Maybe it's really hard to see it if it's connected with the dog's health. So I would recommend to check dog's health first, and then to check his daily routine. Maybe dog is overloaded, or vice versa. What do you think about orthopedic mat? Is it a good idea or marketing? It's a great question. I really love it. I think that it depends on dog's need. For example, if dog has some orthopedic problems, yeah, it might be an option. Few months ago, I had a dog in pet boarding. She had the orthopedic mattress, and she didn't use it at all because it wasn't her need. Usually she slept on the couch. Maybe she wanted to have an opportunity to see the room, and she slept on the floor because it was quite hot, and the floor is a bit colder. So I think it depends on dog's needs. And by the way, I wanted to show you in my presentation, I had 1 second. Yeah, you can see the first picture with the green mat. The dog has something like a pillow. The bed's borders. So I think this is more important than orthopedic mattress, because here dog has an opportunity to put his head on something. It's more pleasant for a neck. Yeah, I think it's more related to most of the dogs than orthopedic mattresses. Let's say we gave the dog everything we could, but we see that quality of sleep can happen only during the night, and during daytime the dog too alert. My takeaway: get a nap together during the day. Yeah, if you have an opportunity to do it, it's great to have a nap together. Also for the owner too. Layla lost internet connection, so we can move on without her. My dog also often prefers cold floor. Yeah. So it's doesn't must be some most comfortable beds in the world. just give a dog some opportunity to choose soft surfaces, warm surfaces, or cold if dog choose it. So thank you for your answers. I think we can move on. As far as I remember, Sveta is the next speaker.
Yes, I am next speaker. Thank you, Tatyana, and hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Svetlana, and I'm glad to welcome you on our mini conference. My presentation, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, can you see it? So, the topic of my talk is unmet needs and stress, a vicious cycle. Dogs and people have different perceptions and reactions. For example, dogs have some off-putting quirks of human opinion. Crotch sniffing, rolling in mud and poo, eating rotten things off the ground, and other. Briefly, I have 2 things to say. Human can prevent canine stress, and unmet need is a cause of stress, always. And first of all, I tell you about myself. When I was a child, I wanted a dog so badly, and I wanted to be a vet, but I've become a psychologist and a business coach. And last year, I decided to get a new profession to become a dog specialist. And now I've finished my education on dog behavior in the modern University of Sinology and aggression in dogs master course. Besides that, I have finished a course in calculation of food rations, and I can make a diet for healthy dogs and cats. I don't really think of myself as a dog trainer. I am more of a coach, and equipping pet owners with the tools and understanding needed to build the harmony relationship with their dog. And my goal is to make dog parents to be confident. I think it's so important. I use scientific supported and reward-based approaches that put the welfare of dogs and their humans above all else. I love teaching and running workshops and speaking at conferences, but this is my first experience, and writing articles, posts, and guides for pet owners. Let's look at connection of stress and needs. Stress is very important for all creatures because it's our function of the safe and development. But stress can become a distress, which is destructive for organism. And there is only one cause of distress: deprivation of needs. Dogs have 3 types: vital needs, social needs, and needs of self-development. Vital needs are food, water, elimination, homeostatic balance, sleep and rest, grooming, and physical safety. Social needs, like communication with other dogs and people and other creatures, breeding, offspring care, and social safety. Needs of self-development, it's my favorite needs because it's very interesting. Needs of self-development such as new information, play and games, imitation and freedom. In other words, when a dog doesn't meet needs, distress starts. And why am I talking about a vicious cycle between needs and stress? Let me explain. Now, I'm going to describe you two cases and ask you to drop your one idea to the chat box. What can lead a vicious cycle in each case? And first example. There is a dog's for walk on a long enough leash for having space to use body signals for quality communications with other dogs. The owner prohibits and pulls the leash. It's not comfortable for the dog. She connects pain from the collar with another dog. The next time, situation repeats. Our dog is learning that other dogs are a pain, and it's bad, and she starts to be aggressive with
Я могу слышать, что
at any dog. Okay. Her owner is upset because he doesn't understand what's happened. Why is his dog so aggressive and doesn't want to play with other dogs? And what do you think about the situation? What elements of a vicious cycle can you see here? Drop your answers to the chat box. Unmet need in communication because of owner's actions. Yes, it's absolutely Tatyana. Body language is changed. Of course. Yes, Sasha. That's right. Choice. Yes, it's freedom. It's need of self-development. Freedom it's very important for all creatures. Okay. Let's look at the slide. And we have a vicious cycle. Unmet need for proper communication, freedom, and physical safety. So stress for the dog, aggressive reactions, and stress for the owner. As an illustration, a second case. A family with two small children takes a puppy. The children play with puppy all day long, and when puppy, wants to sleep, they wake him up. The puppy starts peeing everywhere. Parents are punishing him, and the puppy does it in secret places, of course. And what about this case? Write your version of the vicious cycle to the chat box. Lack of sleep. You are right, Sasha. Lack of sleep, of course. Dog cannot express his emotions. It's interesting opinion, Tatyana. Yes. Okay. In this case, we have the following vicious cycle. Unmet need for sleep and rest, you all right, and stress for the puppy, uncleanliness, stress for the owner, deprived need for physical safety, and more stress for the puppy. It's terrible, isn't it? It's a double vicious cycle. I'd like now to recap that for the wellness of dogs and their humans, it's very important to know all about canine needs, consider and fulfill it. And for your help, I suggest a checklist for a self-test. Is your dog in stress now? If you will answer yep more than one question, most probably your dog needs help. So, does your dog have destructive behavior, uncleanliness, hair loss or dull fur, nervousness, a dog itches all the time, imitation of sexual behavior, appetite disorder, leash beating always, increased need for motor activity on the your walk, and unpleasant body or mouth odor, displaced behavior, including displaced aggression. The dog sleep less than the norm. Tatyana talked us about the importance of sleep for the dog, and impaired concentration and forgetfulness. And some questions which may indicate distress. How many hours does your dog sleep during a day? How many times do you go for a walk, and how long is each walk? What kind of games does your dog prefer? For example, overactivity games are not useful for the dog. You would prefer such games, sniffing activity, simple tricks, or development games. And 5 questions. Question: how often do you walk with your dog during the day? I mean, how much attention your dog gets from you and family members. And how does your dog treat other dogs, people, kids, cats, and other creatures? And how does your dog can relax? You see, the dog needs simple things, and every one of pet parents can give it for their dog and make her happy. So that's all. And I hope that my report was useful for you. And does anyone have any questions or comments? Drop to our chat box, please. New messages. Oh. What's your ideas about second case? Okay, your question. If my dog is always hungry, is it eating disorder? What do you mean about always hungry? How do you understand that she's always hungry? Out, please. And Tatyana, my dog has an aggressive behavior towards other dogs since teenage. He has got a terrible experience being biting by 2 large dogs. How can I help my dog to meet his social needs in communication with other dogs if he is so afraid of them? Oh, it's so sadly. I recommend to see a specialist because situation with aggression and any situation need a complex analysis, but main recommendations are increasing self-confidence, controlling and desensitizing to talks. Sasha asking all my food. It may be not good habit. It's not correct. Learned some habits about your eating. So I think we must not we must you should analyze the situation when your dog asks all your eat, and I sure that it's not always, but maybe some important situations when it's not one second, please. It's not correct because you learned here it. So next question, especially especially bread and croissant. It's tasty things. I agree with your dog. So. Thank you, Tatyana. Okay, that's all. And I thank you for your attention and very much, and see you.
So I think I'm the next. Sveta, can you please close your presentation? Okay. Do you see my screen? Okay. My name is Natalia Lubyanetskaya. I'm an aspiring canine behaviorist. I have a diploma in kinology. I have also finished different workshops on dogs' behavior. Today, I want to tell you about traveling with dogs, and especially by plane. How to minimize stress of airports and flying. I have been fortunate to live in a small city, so I have to fly away to provide me and my dog interesting and healthy life. This is my dog Joyce. He is 5 years old. We're traveling a lot, 22 times by plane and countless time by train, electric train, bus, taxi, own car, etc. So I can share a lot of information about spending time in different places by different vehicles and for making different plans. Can you Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Ah, of course, I already chatted some. Okay. Now I warm you up and offer you a little game. I'll show you a photo of the cities and tell about the city, and you need to guess and write in the chat box what is the city. It's all about cities of Russia. The first one, look at the photo and listen. There are many rivers, small bars and restaurants in the city, as well as many cultural places, palaces, museums, bridges, statues, etc. Okay, it's easy. St. Petersburg, of course. I like St. Petersburg very much. I think it's a very dog-friendly city. The next one. This city full of military history because during the World War II, there were battles on the territory of the city. This city stretched along a large river for 70 kilometers. Now there's a lot of old equipment on the street and a magnificent highest in Russia military tent statue. Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. It's Volgograd. Stalingrad, right? It's a previous name of Volgograd, was renamed in 1961. And I want to remember you, this year we are celebrating 18th anniversary of winning Stalingrad battle. It was a turning point of the war. The last one. This city combines summer and winter entertainment. In the warm season, you can relax on the beach, and in the cold season, you can do winter sports. Even in the middle of the summer, you can find snow high in mountains. Ah, Sochi. Everyone knows. Okay, it's Sochi. It's a real story. In July, we climbed the mountains. Joyce finds snow and was unbelievably happy. Let's move on. With my dog Joyce, we have visited a lot of cities and districts of our country in different years. Here we are on the map. It's a big red point, and all these cities, we were together. Ukta, here we live, and we were in Syktyvkar, it's the capital of our republic, St. Petersburg, Vyborg, and Karelia, Moscow, Tver, Klin, and Yaroslavl, Sochi, Adler, and Abkhazia, Volgograd, and Yekaterinburg. So what people thinking about the idea to travel with dogs? What induces people to travel with their dogs? To prepare this material, I took a poll for dog owners among friends and in several dog chats. It was possible to select several points. The first question was, why do you travel with your dog? What is the reason for a trip? The most popular answer, two of, is vacation and meeting friend. In this case, you choose a place to your heart, a comfortable travel time, and just have fun. It's very comfortable to make stops on your way to find dinner, making dog's toilet, visit beautiful places. In the third place, medical treatment, medical help. Sometimes you travel if you want a healthy dog. Sometimes it's an emergency and very expensive. Sometimes you haven't time to prepare and must be acting very fast. That's why it's a good idea to be ready. The next question, ways of movement, how to get to the right place. The most popular answer is by your own car. If you are a confident driver, you can take a lot of useful stuff and make stops as needed. But for a long distance, the best options is train or plane. It depends on free time, your budget, and preparation. But as we can see, a lot of people avoid planes. And next, we will analyze the reason. Why do I choose plane for the first time? My first trip with Joyce was from Ukhta to Sochi just for summer vacation. First of all, it's faster than a train. Second, it was cheaper to buy tickets for humans and dog, and easy buy a car. What are the most common fears and problems in flights with dogs, according to people? On the top, scary stories from the internet. For example, the transport container for dog may be damaged, the dog may get injured or even escape from the plane. The next, freezing dog in the baggage hold. Dog's nervousness, high cost of flying, confusing rules of flying with dogs. In addition, people themselves are afraid to fly. It is difficult to plan the entire route and stops. People just homebodies, no airport nearby, no transport container for dogs. Now let's talk about common fears. First one, scary stories from the internet. In fact, don't believe the media, don't get gripped by fear. Check all information and figure out what really happened. In many situations described in the internet, the dogs had health problems, the transport container was too small, the dog wasn't prepared for a flight. Remember, some dogs can't fly because, for example, because of brachycephalic phase or problem with breathing. But sometimes airports employees are really blamed for the sad stories. What can you do to cope with this fear? Buy a strong transport container, appropriate size, fortify it additionally. Visit vet and pick up a medicine to make dog calm. Life hack from this case, buy cozy mat or make it yourself from foam and soft fleece. It really make dog relax in the transport case. Don't use towels or nappies because they clump. The next, freezing dog in baggage. In fact, medium and large dogs can be transported in a separate baggage hold, often located under pilots. The temperature in the baggage hold is the same as the cabin, about 20 degrees. Can you recall you got ice from your suitcase instead of shampoo or bottle of wine? I think no. Besides, pilots receive a flight card, including animals on board on the aircraft before start of movement, and pilots make a decision, taking them into account in emergency situation. What can you do? It's the most important things of flying with dogs. You need to coordinate transportation of your dog with air company in advance, not the day of departure. Book a seat for the dog on the plane on the day you buy a ticket for people, and ask air company to confirm transportation of your dog. For example, from Ukhta to Moscow or from Ukhta to St. Petersburg, we have a small planes, so only 2 dogs in the same time can be in baggage. Or some air companies, for example, Pobeda, if you know, don't allow animals in baggage in all plane, only in cabin. Life hack. Explore the air company's website and ways to get to the right city before buying a ticket for yourself and your dog. Next, dog's nervousness. Dog must be prepared for a flight. Some dogs need medicine, but some dogs had a very weak nervous system. What can you do? Consult your vet and dog behaviorist. Maybe they provide you some training, practice, or medicine, or they even can say that in your situation, safer to use a train or stay at home. train your dog to relax inside the transport container. Life hack. It's better to start training a few weeks before the first flight. What else? Take a walk before flight to stretch dog muscles. Let your dog make some toilet, give some water. Sometimes there is only asphalt around the airport. To find grass, you often need to leave the airport area and take a little walk. So look at the map of the airport and in advance, plan ahead and arrive at the airport with a spare time. The next, high cost of flying. Dogs' transportation cost on an airplane depends on weight, so you should check air company's website. Usually they use formula dog's weight plus container weight. What can you do? Double check all transportation ways. It's not only tickets for people, it's tickets and baggage, taxi or express to airport, price for dogs and documents for dogs. Choose the best way, fastest, the cheapest. Life hack. Ticket for people can be bought in advance. The price will be lower, but you should pay for the transportation for a dog on an airplane right in the airport. The next, confusing rules of flying. In fact, the rules of transportation are written on the website of each company. They are often similar, but size of the transport containers and cost of transport animals may differ. What can you do? In all cases, about documents, check vaccination in the dog's passport. Call air company hotline and veterinary inspection of the departure airport. They will calmly answer even stupid questions. I do it before every flight because rules are changing very often. Life hack. After check-in, find out an oversized baggage counter if your dog flies in baggage hold, and ask them how much time you have to hand over the dog. In different airports, it's from 30 minutes to 1.5 hours before departure. So let's recap. If it's possible, plan your trip in advance, but be prepared for the emergencies. In all circumstances, find out information about destination point, ways to get there, total spending, including transfer, tickets, baggage, and dog transportation. Find out information about rules of transportation by each type of transport. They change really often. Prepare your dog in advance. Visit a vet to check documents and select sedatives. Help the dog feel comfortable inside the transport container. Thank you for your attention. More information about traveling and kindness behavior and information about consultation on my page and reviews of the city on behalf of Joyce on his page. Now I'm ready to answer your question. Question from Tatyana. Want to adopt a dog, but I travel a lot, few times a year. I'm afraid of taking dog into luggage compartment every time, only in cabin. I'm very anxious about the question. Would you recommend to adopt a small enough dog? Or is it less stressful to find a dog hotel? Could you recommend some other options? The first, I think if owner very stressful, dog can read it, and it's very uncomfortable for dog if her owner have a stress. So working with you for the first time. if small dog can be in cabin, maybe you can find an air company that can take dog of your size in cabin. But in Russia Air Company, I think it's maybe if dog less than 10 kilos or like this, but big dogs only in baggage hold. The recommended is small enough dog or no. If you like, if you prefer to spare time with your dog, I think it's a good idea to bring your dog with you, and you'll be more confident, more. I think, just for me, I very nervous when my dog not with me, so I don't prefer dog hotels. So I bring my dog with me every time. Maybe they are mega comfortable carries to make it easy for dog to take the flight in the luggage compartment. Mega comfortable. It's about, first of all, it's about size of areas of dog cage. Dog can be able to move into this case, turn around, lie down, and it's a really good idea. I show you. I recommend it for everyone to use a cozy mat and use foam and textile, maybe fleece, or something, maybe like a yoga mat, to make dog's transportation case very cozy. Okay, I think if no questions.
I think I should be the next and the last one. So one moment, I'll demonstrate my screen. One moment. So please like make some reactions. Do you hear me? And do you see my screen? If everything is okay. Okay, perfect. So hello everyone. My name is Ksenya Sergeeva, and today I will tell you how to reach Africa with dogs and not go crazy. A few words about me. I am a dog trainer, and I've already completed my education in dog training in Modern University of Cynology. And as for now, I'm living in Sofia, in Bulgaria, but originally I'm from Russia. And I have two hybrid dogs, Remy and Yuna. You could see them at my screen. And I'm an experienced dog trainer. I've started my traveler career without my dogs, but currently I'm continuing with them. And last 1.5 of the year, we travel, I think, just with our dogs, and we don't keep them at home. We always with us. So a little bit about our travel achievements. Here at my screen, you could see our map. Where are some places which we already visited together. And for the last 1.5 of the year, we had 9 long trips. We have visited 8 countries. It took us more than 30,000 kilometers of the way. And I should tell you that we always do it by car. not by plane, not by train, just by car. And the longest way we had when we relocated from Novosibirsk, it is here, to Sofia in Bulgaria, it is here. We went through Russia, Georgia, Turkey, and received Bulgaria. It took us 8 days, and it was a little bit more than 6.5 kilometers all the way. It was absolutely amazing experience, which I honestly never want to repeat, but it was great experience, and I received a lot of life hacks during those travels, and today I want to share with you of some of those life hacks. But before we start our before I start my speech, I want to make short interactive. Please take your mobile phones and use the camera to check the QR code on the screen, please. If something went wrong, please tell me about them. You should be redirected to booklab.com website. If everything okay, please make a correction here. Guys, does it work or something went wrong? Please tell me, do you see the question at your screen or you need some help? So I hope everyone who wants to, oh, perfect, the first answer we have it. So the question is, what do you think is the most important in traveling with dogs? Please put your answer in the screen. Dinner, yeah, I think it's always important. Calm dog, safety, perfect. Any other ideas? So, guys, I absolutely agree with you. Connection between dog and human, of course, I absolutely agree with you. It is always very important. So everything you mentioned here in dinner, of course, as well, it is important. But now let me share with you my ideas about this question. I want to tell you, from my opinion, really important thing is to always remember that any traveling could be stressful for a dog. But the good news that it is in our hands to reduce the stress level. And today I will share with you some life hacks, how to do it and how to achieve this goal. So a short presentation roadmap, what we will talking about. So we will start from the point how to prepare for such big trip, or not so big, but anyway. The next part will be how not go crazy at the way. So how to help yourself and your dog to travel for long distances and by the car. The third step will be how to help a dog in a new place. And of course, we will have a short Q&A session after that. So let's move to the to the first part. It is how to prepare for a big trip, and we will start from how to prepare yourself and how to help yourself prepare for this trip. First of all, choose a route. For example, when you travel by car, you may have a few ways how you could get from the first point to the next point. And my advice is to give preference to the road without mountain serpentines, off-road, and so on. Why? Because much easier way will help you feel not nervous, to be not so tired, and for a dog as well. Because in mountain serpentines, for example, dog may feel seasick or feel nervous, so it helps you and your dog feel good during the way. Of course, sometimes you have to go through such strange ways. It is okay. We will speak about that a little bit later, how to prepare your dog for that. Next point, it is a book apartment. I really advise you to do it in advance because for travelers with pets, there are a little bit less variants of apartments than for ones who traveled without pets. This is the first point. And the next one, it is that I really advise you to confirm with accommodation if it is possible to stay there with your dog. You may see in the description of apartment that pets are allowed, but sometimes it could be a mistake. It is my bad experience, of course. It could be a mistake. Or, for example, the host may think that, oh, I allow the small dog to live in my flat, but for big one, no, sorry, please find some other apartment. And to not meet with some troubles when you receive the accommodation, please confirm that in advance. And the third point is pack your things in advance. Make a list of what you need to take for a dog and for yourself, of course, as well, in advance, and keep all things before travel, because traveling with dogs by car, sometimes it is a little bit nervous. And if it is the first trip, of course, it will be a little bit nervous, and you will feel bad if you forget anything and you recognize it at the last minute. So please be prepared. Please do everything in advance, and everything will be okay, I hope. So then you prepare yourself. We need to think how to prepare your dog. First of all, we need to create a positive associations with car for your dog. If you can't do it by yourself, you could always ask for a dog trainer to help, for help. And my advice is to start your training session a few months before the trip, because that will allow you to do everything step by step, not to move forward so fast. And your dogs will feel good as Yuna here. She thinks that she will drive the car and we will go, I don't know where. And then you prepare your dog with car. My advice is to visit vet. Anyway, if your dog is healthy, you don't know, maybe it started to feel nervous during the way, or maybe he will receive some like seasick and so on. So please visit vet before the trip, and maybe he will prescribe you some sedatives or something more for seasick, for example, and you will be prepared for any exceptions during the way. So then we fully prepared for the travel, we could start the part about traveling, of course. So how not go crazy on the way when you drive the car 8 days long and your dogs are in the way, I don't know, for example, 18 hours every day. So first of all, it should be a technical stops. My experience tells me that it is better if it will be every 2-4 hours. What does mean technical stops? It is then you stop, for example, at the field, but it could be any other place that you decided to stop. And in this place, you will allow your dog to stretch paws, to run, to like sniff something, so to feel better after a long way when we lie down in the car. And of course, and with technical stops, please offer water for your dog. Why it is such important? Of course, I think everyone knows that water it is really important for all of us and dogs as well. But at home, dog has an opportunity to receive water and anytime it needs it. But in car, it's not. In car, everything is in your hand. So please offer it to your dog. It is absolutely important in the summer. Then we're really hot outside the car, and sometimes it could be hot inside the car. So often, always think about technical stops and watching that. And of course, you could use something which helps your dog feel calmer. What can it be? It is some things which allows to activate parasympathetic system in the dog, which helps to feel calmer for the organism. And what can it be? It is everything which makes dog to lick or sniff or chew. So it could be some sniffing balls, some licking mats, some treats which dog could choose for a long way. So it will help your dog to feel a little bit calmer, to activate its brain, and after that to fall asleep because it will the dog will feel tired after those playing. But sometimes everything that I told you about doesn't work because dog started to feel nervous or dog is really tired because of the way. Then you could use something which your vet prescribed to you at the previous step and help dog feel calmer by the pharma. So we discussed with you how to prepare for the trip, how to help your dog during the trip, and now we need to describe how to help your dog in a new place. Of course, we need to think that less is more. In this moment, less is more. Please reduce requirements from your dog, reduce walks and trainings. You could do it after your trip because here, during this situation, your dog has a lot of impressions. Long trip, new places, she wants to sniff everything, explore everything, and it will make your dog very tired and a little bit stressful. So please don't train, please don't ask your dog to learn for something new. Just short walks, reduce requirements, and reduce training. At the place, like at the flat, please create for your dog a safe environment. It should be something like a quiet place where the dog will feel comfortable and will feel relaxed. It could be like some quiet place at the flat. It could be like a small house for a dog. For example, we made it under a small table. Often we do it like a small house for one of our dogs because he loves such places. So please do it to help your dog feel relaxed in a new place. And of course, ensure full sleep. Tatyana today tell you a report about how does sleep important for all of us and for dog as well. So please help your dog to sleep a lot. You could add some calming activities, which we discussed at the previous step, something sniffing, licking, chewing. You could turn on the dog TV or calming music for a dog. For example, when you leave the flat and you ask dog to stay in it, you could turn on the calming music, ask dog to go to a quiet place and help it to be relaxed. So, what do you think? Please write here in the chat box. What do you think the most important here, from my opinion, and maybe from your opinion as well, from those three parts? Sorry, I have some troubles with my presentation. One moment, I will return back. But before I'll ask, of course, everything is very important, and of course, sleep as well. That's why all photos here, you could see who sleep in different places, because sleep is the most important thing. And if you will take care about those two things, the sleep will be in a good level. I hope it will help your dog to feel more relaxed and more comfortable in this new place. So it was the first part of my speech, and we are going to the fourth of them. If you have any questions, please ask me about them. I will try to respond. What is Dog TV? Dog TV, it is something like calming music. You could find it in YouTube. For example, you could write Dog TV, and you will see some videos with calming music, which helps your dog to feel a little bit less nervous, a little bit more relaxed. So it is the same, but as for my dogs, I found something like a channel in YouTube called Dog TV, and it was working brilliant for them. Whatever the leash needs to be secured for safety when the machine. Yes, of course. In the machine, you always should think about safety. It could be like a case for a dog, like Natasha showed, but almost you could use like some, I don't know honestly how it is in English, but it is like a case for the whole seat at your car. So you could use it because it has some walls, something like that, and it will work for safety as well. Of course, I advise to use secured leash, and please be careful. Please always think that this leash should be like locked for the harness, just for the harness, because in some accident, if it be not harness, there are some like risks that your dog will receive something better with its neck. Such sweet dogs. Oh, thank you very much. I will tell them. I will tell them about it. So, do your dog sleep on the way or look on the window? Depend on situation. Mostly we sleep. We fall asleep. Then we start our traveling. We always like try to to watch, but after I think 10 or 15 minutes, we fall asleep. And if we start to eat something, of course, we get up, and that's all. Yeah, but I did a lot of trainings with my first dog, Remy, to help him to feel good in the car. Yuna was, is it safe to open the window of a car with dogs? Depend on how much you want to open the window. As from my view, I could open a little bit to allow them to like sniff something. Then we, for example, travel for new places, we always open a little bit and allow dogs for like, please snuff Bulgaria. How does it snuff? But for how to say, fully open, no, I don't recommend to do it, because there could be some accidents. Dog could see something interesting in front of the car and try to like achieve this interesting thing. So it could be unsafety from my opinion. Yeah. So here you could see, if no more questions, here you can see my contacts. My name is Ksenya Sergeeva. You could achieve me from Instagram or Telegram me. Instagram it is Talk with Dog, called Talk with Dog. Thank you, all of you. I really glad to tell you this story. So I think Leila is not here. Thank you. So I really want to say that you're amazing, guys, from all of us and from Leila as well, because Leila could just hear us but not can talk. So thank you very much that you achieve this this conference, that you spend your time, that you listen us. Please contact us if you have any questions, if you have any like anything to say. We all of us will be really happy for that. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. It's a great job. I enjoyed all your topics very much.
So bye-bye.
See you.
Yeah.
See you.